Good evening, Internet. It is I, the Real Shroom. Tonight I'm heading back to the Explorer/Pioneer format in MTG Arena. And one thing I do when I'm not streaming or making content is I play Dungeons & Dragons. And there's a certain iconic creature in Dungeons & Dragons, which was released in the D&D set a couple of years ago, that I've always wanted to give a shot. And we're going to do that tonight. What am I talking about? Let's take a look. The card that I'm referring to is Mind Flayer, aka Illithid, this iconic monster from Dungeons & Dragons. Is 5 mana, 2 blue and 3 for a 3/3 that when it ETBs, gain control of target creature for as long as you control Mind Flayer. So it's not that good, but I think that effects like the Mind Flayer are very powerful and could be very powerful in the format of Pioneer. If you think about it, there's a lot of matchups that are extremely creature dependent. So if you just take control of your opponent's creatures, they won't be able to pull off their game plans, and you should be able to win the game by beating them down with their own creatures. That's the theory, at least. But yeah, we're running a 3 of the Mind Flayer. The other control effects we are running is a full playset of Blue Sun's Twilight, 2 blue and X for sorcery, gain control of target creature with mana value X or less. If X is 5 more, create a token that's a copy of that creature. So this for 2 mana can yoink a token. For 3 mana it can yoink a 1-drop. It's very efficient at stealing cheaper stuff. Whereas the Mind Flayer, the advantage of the Mind Flayer is that it's only 5 mana to steal anything, which would be prohibitively expensive for Blue Sun's Twilight. We're also playing a 2 of Invoke the WInds. This sorcery from the latest Kamigawa set, 5 mana, 4 blue, and colorless. Gain control of target artifact or creature, untap it. Just 5 mana, yoink something, no getting it back other than like bouncing it or killing it, etc. Just a permanent control change effect. And then finally we are running a 2 of Agent of Treachery. You've probably been victimized by this card, as I have, you know, back in the days when it was legal and standard. 7 mana for this 2/3 that when it ETBs, gain control of target permanent, any permanent whatsoever. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more permanents you don't own, which might very well happen in this deck, draw 3 cards, because we're going to be stealing a lot of stuff. So, of course, yeah, that's the overall game plan is we're going to steal our opponent's important creatures, completely disrupt their win conditions, and win the game using their creatures and beating down with our 3/3 Mind Flayers, as well as a bunch of creature lands. So, of course, the disadvantage of Mind Flayer, like other creatures that are like O-ring style, you know, like Brutal Cathars, Skyclave Apparitions, that kind of thing. The problem with those creatures is when they die, they can create huge blowouts where your opponent gets a permanent back at instant speed. In this case, that could be disastrous. If they kill our Mind Flayer with an instant speed removal spell, get their creature back in the middle of a combat and like create a terrible block for us, etc. So we're playing Dimir so that we can interact and make sure that doesn't happen, or try as hard as we can to make sure that doesn't happen. We're doing that with 2 of Spell Pierce, 2 of Negate, 2 of 3 Steps Ahead, which incidentally can create token copies of Mind Flayer or stuff that our creature that our opponent used to control. You know, if they have a really good creature that we've yoinked from them, like, I don't know, could be anything, Blood Tithe Harvester, Mayhem Devil, whatever it is, we can use 3 Steps Ahead to create copies of it. So that's pretty cool. And then we have a 4 of Thoughtseizes in the main board as well, and a 2 of Spell Pierce, just for protection in the very early turns. To try to keep our Mind Flayers safe so that we don't get blown out by a removal spell in combat, and our Squiddy pal can stick around. And we've got a little bit more bounce interaction. We don't want to kill our opponent's creatures, really, because we want to steal them, but we do want to slow our opponents down so that they don't, you know, overwhelm us in the early game. So we've got 6 cards that can kind of help us with that. 2 Into the Flood Maw is like an unsummoned, where if we gift our opponent a fish, can be a 1 mana spell that can bounce any non-land permanent, so that's pretty good. And then, of course, we're playing the cheesy Brazen Borrowers, this overpowered spell from Eldraine. For 2 mana, it just bounces any non-land permanent we don't control. Extremely good tempo piece, and it can help us close out the game by being a 3 mana, 3/1 flyer. And because we are playing a lot of like expensive spells, we're playing a little bit of ramp. It's kind of hard to ramp too much in Dimir, you know, since we're not green. But we're playing a couple of spells to help us out with accelerating our mana slightly. A 1 of Mimic. There's a number of cards that do this, which are bad cards that you really don't want to play most of the time, but I think it's useful in this deck. 2 mana, you create a treasure. The Mimic is a treasure. You can just sack it to add a mana of any color. But the Mimic for 2 mana can also become a 3/3 creature. So, you know, we might have a little bit of a hard time closing out games. Like if our opponent kind of gets what we're doing and they stop playing out creatures at a good pace, we might just need to activate our Mimic to get in for 3 damage turn after turn. So that's the reason why I'm choosing this over other potential 2-mana treasure options. We have a 1 of Iron Crag. It's just a 2-mana mana rock. It's like the only one you can play in Pioneer, really. That's just straight up a 2-mana spell that taps for 2. 2 is really where you want to be for this kind of effect in this kind of deck. So we're running a 1 of Iron Crag just as acceleration. And then for 3-mana acceleration, we've got a Celestis and a Dimir Locket. 3 is really more than you want to pay for just acceleration. So I like the extra value that the Celestis gives you, being able to help you cycle through cards. And Dimir Locket can later in the game be sacked for 2 cards for 4 mana. So we're running these just because it feels like it's necessary. There's a total of 26 lands, including a 4 of Juwari Disruption. I'm a fan of this card, actually. A lot of control players like to play Censor. I much prefer to play Juwari Disruption to Censor, because I like having the land. And, you know, people often will not play around this. And we are playing some creature lands, because that is going to be one way that we close out games. We're playing a couple of Mutavaults, just as a cheap option in the creature land array, and a couple of Restless Reefs as 4/4s to help us close out games in games where our opponent doesn't feel like playing a lot of creatures because they know we're just going to steal them all. Other tech we have is 1 of Seagate Restoration, which can help us with some cards. Speaking of which, since we're playing blue control deck, we are playing a 3 of Memory Deluge. This is just an amazing card draw piece that you all know if you played any form of Pioneer control. This is an extremely powerful card draw effect that basically every control deck runs several copies of. We are no exception. So that is the main board plan. The sideboard contains 2 Cling to Dust and a Go Blank for graveyards, a couple of Duresses for control decks, a couple of Kaido Bane of Nightmares. These are also primarily for control or for like comboing matchups where our opponent will board out a lot of creatures. We can be lacking in win conditions, particularly against control. So Kaido is just a 4-mana planeswalker I'm trying out, who on our turn is a 3/4 hexproof ninja. So he dodges spot removal on our turn. He dodges sweepers on our opponent's turn because he's not a creature on our turn. On their turn, he's a planeswalker. He pluses 1 to gain an emblem that gives him +1/+1 permanently. He can also for 0 surveil 2 and draw a card for each opponent who's lost life. But primarily he's just there as a 3/4. He's going to be actually 4/5 at a minimum, because the first thing we're going to do with him is plus him, since we can't attack with him the first turn because he'll be summoning sick. So he's just a 4-power attacker who's going to get in turn after turn in control matchups where we should be facing an empty battlefield. A couple of Pithing Needle is just a versatile sideboard card that can hit a lot of stuff. I really like this card. 1 of Negate makes a 3 negate for those control matchups to protect our stuff. A 1 of Thieving Skydiver, along with the 2, what are they called? Invoke the Winds can help us steal artifacts, which can be really good in a lot of matchups. A couple of Nowhere to Runs are in here because I'm a little bit worried about, like, ward effects. Like, if our opponent gets down like a Vein Ripper or that ridiculous new demon thing. Hopefully they won't do that, because we'll like counter their spells that facilitate that. But if they happen to do that, that could be a real problem, because we won't be able to play the ward cost for those creatures. So I'm running a couple of Nowhere to Runs just to make it so that we don't have to worry about ward effects. A 1 of Path of Peril is in the sideboard to help us avoid getting run over by super aggressive decks or go wide decks like token decks. And a 1 of Thought Distortion really puts the nail in the coffin of our control opponents. That's the idea anyway. So that is the plan. We are going to squid our way into our opponent's brains, take control of all their creatures. I think this will be good. I'm kind of hoping we face Mono Green Devotion tonight, because I think this strategy will be very good against them. I think it's also quite good against Phoenix. Like, it only costs 4 mana to steal a Ledger Shredder, and those Ledger Shredders get enormous in the Phoenix deck. They can be like 4/6s before you know it, and that's an absolute nightmare for the Phoenix deck to deal with. Basically, the only way they can deal with it is like losing a Phoenix and a removal spell, or like bouncing it with a Brazen Borrower. But we also have counter magic that we can use to prevent that from happening. Just stealing those giant birds, I think, will be a beating against Phoenix. Stealing the Phoenixes themselves also doesn't seem too bad. Anyway, that's the plan. Let's see if we can flay our way to victory with our Illithid buddies. And if you like off-meta, off-kilter RPG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Raising Heart 63 is our first opponent. We'll be on the play. No companion. And yeah, our hand looks fine. We'll keep this. We got a negate. We got a Mind Flayer. We're on the play. Do a little surveilling. Mutavault. Mutavault is nice. I think I'm gonna actually keep it. It kind of sucks to have land number 5, but Mutavault is good. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, not what we're looking for. Alright, so some form of Rakdos, it looks like. They take negates. So we'll just play our tap land that they know about. Okay, so this is the demon deck. We'll go for a locket. Now this is a creature combo deck, so it should also be a good matchup for us. Evil. Let's go ahead and play this. We could Mind Flayer the Goblin Shaman. I think I like stealing the Goblin Shaman. Or do we steal Marvin? Marvin gains the ability of Tree of Perdition, which is horrible. I think we'll just take the Goblin Shaman. Alright, they take 5 damage to feed the swarm our Mind Flayer. Yeah, their deck runs like 4 Thoughtseizes and 4 Duress main board, so it's tricky. Another Fable. Well, we'll Spell Pierce that. Do we want to trade our Mutavault for one of these creatures? It's most likely going to get Fatal pushed, so I think we'll just take this. Agatha's Soul Cauldron doesn't really do anything right now. We can add tokens to stuff. I mean, we will just lose to Fable as usual if we don't find a way to steal this Reflection of Kiki Jiki. They don't have their combo set up though. I think I will. So, do I want to Shock and Memory Deluge? Yeah, I think so. Alright, well, we'll Memory Deluge, that was the plan. Where's our steal effects? I guess we'll... Brazen Borrower. This is terrible. Memory Deluge. So Marvin also has the reflection of Kiki Jiki's ability. Alright. Well, we got pretty well tempoed out there. So we want Negate, Thrill Seeker. We want Pithing Needle. We want Go Blank. Do we want any further Graveyard Hate? Like Cling to Dust? Probably. Like, their combo is game winning. So we gotta make some cuts. So it's funny that, like, just regular counterspells are so much worse than, like, negates in this deck. Because, like, we want them to resolve creatures. So the things that we're worried about are you know, non-creature spells. Yeah, I think our 3-mana ramp is probably just too slow. The deck our opponent is playing just won the regional championship, big tournament, so it's going to be really popular for a while. It's a very good deck. We have turn 1 Thoughtseize, so we'll keep this. So I started this deck off with a totally different build. That was like a mill deck. Let's shock Thoughtseize. Duress, Feed the Swarm, Fable, Tree. Well, we'll take Duress probably, because we like our hands. And then we'll take Fable. Blood Tithe, Okay, we will go for our Rambarino. Fable. Alright, well, we do get to go blank them here, which is pretty good. I wonder if I get greedy and wait for them to discard first. Nah, I think go blank is the play here. Because that also shuts down the value of their Chapter 2. Where are Blue Sun's Zeniths? That's what I want to know. I'm a little worried we just might not have enough creature control effects. Okay, let's take control of one of these creatures. probably the Goblin Shaman, because that way we definitely have enough mana next turn to take over their Reflection of Kiki Jiki. They just pass. Okay. Let's attack. Make a treasure. Steal your reflection. There's a tree. Oh, wow. This is so filthy. This is so incredibly filthy. Copy Agent of Treachery. Take your tree. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow, I've never punished a Fable so hard in my life. Okay. I mean, I kind of just want more duress. Just because we want to shut down all their stuff. I think I do want both my memory deluges, because they're a discard heavy deck. Cut a little bit of the bounce. I'll just run one Cling to Dust and one Go Blank as Graveyard Hate. This hand kind of sucks, but I don't think we mull this against a Thoughtseize deck, so we'll keep and just hope it goes okay. We do have a Lucen's Twilight this time. They take Go Blank. Well, see how you like it. Thoughtseize, Murderous Mimic. I think we'll just take the Thoughtseize, because we can steal Marvin. There's the Soul Cauldron. Pithy Needle. Okay. So they don't have anything to give a counter yet. Do I need to play the Pithy Needle right now is the question. I would prefer to hold up my counterspell. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait. I'll play it next turn. And I can just take control of Marvin whenever I feel like it. Spell Pierce is nice. Okay, so let's name Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Alright. Looks like a good target for Spell Pierce. Actually, do we have black mana? We do. But let's just go ahead and yoink your dude. And they scoop. Alright, we shut down the RC winning deck. Round is our opponent in round 2. He will be on the play. No companion showing. And this hand looks good. Our mana base is a bit slow. Alright. They lead on islands. They have an 89 card library. Oh my goodness. Let's shock. Alright, we'll play John Catacomb. Cloudkin Seer. I mean, that is a creature that we can take. Sure, you can have a Cloudkin Seer. Let's go ahead and get our Celestis going. So they're like some kind of elemental deck, most likely. An Ice Rot Sentry. Ooh. That is a cool creature. I need to remake my Icy Aggro deck. We'll let that go. So let's bounce the Sentry. Oh, they actually have to discard the hand size? Alright. So, let's play this land and Mind Flayer the Seer. Sentry's back. Oh, this is brutal. Alright, let's Mind Flayer the Sentry. Get in there. We got negate protection. Cunning Geyser Mage. If it was kicked, return up to one target creature to its owner's hand. Is not kicked, though. Okay. Do I actually just counter this? Yeah, sure. No, I think I want it to tap down, something to tap down, so I can grow my Sentry. Yeah. Tap that guy down. Become a 4/4. Do I want to draw and discard? No, I actually like my hand. My hand's good. So they foretell something. I mean, they're very dead on board. So, I think we're pretty good. I have a negate ready. They have 1 mana. Two mana, Mycosynth Gardens. Spectrum Sentinel. Okay. Is a 1/2. Attacking for 3. All good. We'll take 3. And let's just go ahead and attack. Yes. Tap down your blocker. Not that I need to. Okay, so blue kind of tempo-y based creatures. I don't know that we really need to change anything. Pretty well suited for this. Maybe Thieving Skydiver, because one of their creatures was an artifact. So I'll kind of negate. That still leaves me with a negate, 2 spell piercing, 3 steps ahead, and Thoughtseize. And this hand looks fine. Blue Sun's Twilight is good. Black mana would be nice to find at some point. Triskaidekaphile. Alright, I think I'll just ramp here. Nah, let's Thoughtseize, in case they have something devastating. Cosmos Charger. So they're like a Foretell deck. Flash, Unexplained Vision. I think I'll take their Cosmos Charger. That seems like the most relevant card to their deck. Alright, let's play our Iron Crag. So we can start yoinking stuff next turn. Memory Deluge. Yeah, let's counter that. So what do we want to steal is the question. Maybe the Triskaidekaphile? Yeah, let's just do the Triskaidekaphile. That'll give us a way to draw cards. Alright, they get to look at some cards. That's pretty good. They also get to scry. Mind Flayer. That's a good draw. Alright, let's attack with our Jeskai Decaphile. Riddle Master Sphinx. Okay. That's fine. Let's draw a card. We'll draw a card with the Jeskai Decaphile. Alright, let's just play a tap land. And Mind Flayer. Take your Sphinx. There's the Geyser Mage kicked. So gonna bounce my Mind Flayer. Alright, they get back their Sphinx. It's still sick. They are at 8. So I think we'll just steal the Sphinx for permanent, like. Calliope. Spells your opponent cost that target this permanent cost 1 more. Its power is equal to your devotion to blue. Creatures and enchantments you control have spells your opponent that... Okay, it gives everything ward 1, basically. Spells your opponent cast that target this. Alright, they're all about the bounce effects. So that is a 3-drop. I would need to pay 6 mana total to take control of that thing. So let's do so. Djinn of the Fountain. Alright, we have a Thieving Skydiver. Wait, why did I bring in Thieving Skydiver? Oh, because they had a creature in game 1 that was an artifact. So let's just play Celestis. We'll just play Thieving Skydiver. We'll pass. There's the Riddle Master. Gonna bounce my Skydiver. Have to pay 1 extra. Alright, let's bounce your 4/4. Whirlwind Denial. Alright, they got us. GG's. Okay, so they are bounce.creature.deck. So I think we will go for a couple of duresses. I think we don't want Thieving Skydiver. Their deck is strangely kind of good against us. Because they can just bounce their own creatures back. So I think we do want a couple of not cling to dust. We want our nowhere to runs. So that we can actually kill a thing or two. Cut a Flayer because they can bounce it. I mean, maybe we do want Go Blank also because they're a Memory Deluge deck. Yeah, I don't know about these 3 mana rocks. They might just be too much. I might just need to replace that with just more cheap stuff and just shave the top end. But the Flayers cost 5. They're down a Spell Pierce. Alright, we'll keep. We got a Thoughtseize. Not a whole lot else, but we'll draw good stuff. Alright. Let's Thoughtseize. Triska deck, Sea Dasher, Octopus. The Ever-Flowing Well. Unsummon, Impede Momentum. Huh, Unsummon is kind of their best card against us, honestly. If there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, transform it. Whenever you cast a permanent spell using mana produce, tap up to 1 target permanent you control becomes a copy of that spell. I don't know. This has the most like long-term value. Sea Dasher Octopus does draw them cards. Yeah, I think I'll take the Ever-Flowing Well. Alright, let's counter the Octopus. Memory Deluge. Anticipate, okay. Go for our Deluge. Alright, Thoughtseize plus Mind Flayer, I think. Alright, let's Duress. Teferi Temporal Pilgrim. Timeless Lotus? Wow. We'll take Teferi, I guess? I don't know, Thoughtseize... Unsummon? Thoughtseizing Unsummon, probably. Unsummon's bad for us. Yeah, we'll counter the Timeless Lotus. Alright, let's just take control of their Triskaidekaphile. sludge monster. Lose all ability and have base power and toughness 2/2. Okay. No attack. We'll just pass, I guess. They're gonna impede momentum. That's good. Because that means they won't be able to replay their sludge monster this turn. Thoughtseizes Oracle. Alright, let's play our Brazen Borrower. Just to get a clock. I guess we might as well kill the Thoughtseizes Oracle. We don't have a better target for this, so why not? Could have attacked with the Triskaidekaphile. So no land. Alright, that means I can counter the sludge monster. Let's attack. I think I'll shock so that I can memory deluge. Tolarian Terror, ooh. Well, I don't have to pay the ward cost for it. Let's just take control of it. How about that? Plus a Brazen Borrower. Take control of your terror. Cunning Geyser Mage. They can't pay the ward for the Tolarian Terror. They can bounce my Mind Flayer and get back their Triskaidekaphile. Okay, they're just bouncing the Triskaidekaphile. That's fine. Because we can play our Brazen Borrower and we have lethal. Just attack with everything. They do get to take down my Mind Flayer, but they die. GG's. Well, that made me a little nervous, but we got there. 90 card mono blue devotion. Evgenish. Round 3 opponent will be on the draw. We got slow lands, but that is the way of the deck. I think we'll keep. I don't know. We'll keep it. Certainly not a great hand. Yeah, tap land, so we can't even play our Iron Crag on turn 2. I could have played the Jawari Disruption, I suppose. Yeah, it's the same deck. It's the demon deck. So if they have a... If I tap out and they have like a... Whatever that demon is, I just die. Bloodlitter of Aklazots. What can I do about that? It would be nice to counter it. That would mean that I play nothing this turn and discard the hand size? That doesn't seem good. Alright, so I guess I'm playing this tap land. Man. Yeah, I can't tap out in the face of the potential Bloodletter because I just lose. Oh, they had it. They just didn't play it. Okay. Sure. So, I guess we'll bounce your Strangler? They had the combo. Here comes the Strangler again. Yeah, man. So I think we just faltered on land here, and we're gonna die. Yep, we drew all of our expensive stuff, not the mana for it though. All right. So we want duress, negate. They're mono black. Do they use No, they're not the tree deck. They're just the demon deck. So our main board plan is good against them. Maybe I don't actually need the third negate. I don't think I need the third negate. Yeah, we just need to draw slightly better. I think we'll cut one Agent of Treachery. Cut one Deluge. We really need to be doing something before Deluge comes online. Okay. We're on the play, so I think this is keepable. Alright, let's shock. Alright, let's go for duress. Heartless Act, Fatal Push, March. They have a slasher. Under its owner's control. That's kind of annoying. Well, I guess I'll take Heartless Act, because that can kill the slasher cleanly. Fatal Push, they have to revolt it. March, they have to tap out and possibly discard cards. Alright, they have a duress. They take negate. Okay. Interesting. I think I'm just gonna memory deluge here. There's the slasher. Alright, let's deluge. Mind Flayer plus Spell Pierce? Mind Flayer plus Thoughtseize. Yeah, I like Mind Flayer Thoughtseize. Okay, let's Celestis. Thoughtseize. Take March, because that's the only thing that can kill the old Mind Flayer. Yep, they have a den. Or a hive, rather. So that's another issue with this deck, is because we're running Mutavaults as like a cheap creature. We don't have all of our Field of Ruins that we like to have. So we tend to die to creature lands. Sure, let's draw a card and discard a card. Take the Slasher. So I guess we have to stay up to try to double block. We just draw land. Actually, you can double block with Mutavault plus Slasher. Alright, here comes the hive. Alright, let's fire up the Mutavault. Can spell pierce that. So they get their Slasher back with some stun counters. Alright. Guess we'll just attack. You're gonna draw with Lockthwain. We draw more lands. Okay. Attack with our dudes. So then we'll steal your dude. I guess I didn't need to do that right now, because it wasn't going to untap. Oops. Should have waited another turn. They could have had like a Thoughtseize or something. Archfiend. Double Archfiend. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, its controller loses 2 life. I can copy my Mind Flayer to take one of the Archfiends. I guess that's what I'm doing. So let's surveil first. How much does it cost to do that and draw cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 it costs. We'll discard this Undercity Sewer. We'll take this Archfiend. We'll bounce that Archfiend. Fire up the Mutavault. Attack. Alright, we got him. Phew. Yeah. Let's do something similar to that. That was close. So they got the Archfiends. They're gonna have that enchantment too. I mean, our main board plan is good against them. So let's go with Agent of Treachery. Cut one of these 3-mana rocks. We'll keep. We got some Thoughtseizing. Alright, play a tap land. Duress. It takes Thoughtseize number 2. Okay. Well, we draw Duress. Jeez, just a handful of baddies over there. We'll go ahead and play this this doesn't matter really. You know our whole hand. Well, if they ever get up to 4 mana, that's bad news for us. They don't cast their Slasher. They Field of Ruin our Mutavault. They had a window last turn to cast the Slasher. They did not. Reckoner Bankbuster. Dope. Thoughtseize. I guess we'll take their Unstoppable Slasher, because it's a thing they can cast. Alright, start casting Borrowers. That's gonna eat a Heartless Act. Alright, deck, I'm gonna need some help here. Alright, they have another removal spell. We draw a land. Guess we'll play it. Because we're building towards our treachery mana. Okay, we will counter that. Okay, deck, we need something good. How about some creature stealing tech? No. We need to steal creatures. Give me a Mind Flayer, an Agent of Treachery. There's an Archfiend. Memory Deluge. Alright, let's Deluge. Oh, that's beautiful. Invoke the winds into the Flood Maw. Alright, let's bounce the Bloodletter. Are we gonna die to the Archfiend's oil trigger, though? No, we're gonna get it with 3 counters. So we won't die to it. We'll take that. We might die to it. We'll see. We'll see. We definitely might die to it. Okay, let's find some way to steal that Bloodletter too. Shipwreck Marsh. They take it. Alright, Deluge, hook us up, please. We need some help here. Mind Flayer, Agent of Treachery? Uh-oh. Okay, I think we're good. Well, it depends on whether or not they have a removal spell. So, if they have a removal spell, we're dead no matter what, I think. So what we do is we Mind Flayer. Take your Bloodletter. Fire up the Mutavaults. Oh, wait. That did double, right? Yeah. Whew. Wow. Nail biter there. Alright, Mind Flayer, getting it done. Seabass is our opponent in round 4. We will be on the play. And we have a turn 1 Thoughtseize, so that's always good. Hello, Seabass. So they're Waste Knots. I think we take Waste Knot. They're like Devotion Waste Knot. And they've got Shieldred, which I like Shieldred. Warlock class. So they get to, like, look at the top 3, put one of them to your hand and the rest to your graveyard. Okay. We'll just hold up a counterspell. That has a good target in Shieldred. I'd probably counter the first Shieldred. I don't know. I think I'd Memory Deluge. Okay. Gonna feel the ruin one of my duels. That's fine. I guess a Brazen Borrower plus Disruption? Mimic. Alright, let's go with our Surveilling. Restless Reef, I think we can bin that. And I think we'll pass. Hold up Counter Magic. Shieldred. Yeah, I would love to take control of Shieldred. So they're clearly like some kind of land attacking strategy. They got Grey Merchants, Virtue of Persistence. They're going for a Devotion angle too. They have their own Shieldred. Dueling Shieldreds. I think I'll just bounce yours. Attack. Play my Mimic. Alright, they continue attacking my mana, but I've got basics. Waste not? Okay. That's kind of bad with Gaia Reach. Alright, so we get to Jawari Disruption, they're Shieldred. That's great. Oh, I should have attacked with my Mimic there, too. They have their Gaia Reach Sanitarium. So what do I want to discard to it? Probably just a land. Liliana of the Veil. I think I'll counter that. And draw some cards. Oh, I'm gonna have to discard a card though. That's not good. Discard a land. Alright, there's Gary. Gonna do some draining. Alright. Let's take control of Gary. Fire up the Mimic. Attack. Good game, I think. Are you conceding? You could scoop. I mean, the game's not over yet. You took a Massacre? Yeah, so... Premature GG. They're gonna gain 2 life. I do have my Mimic, though. Hey, Mimic getting in for lethal! How about that? Boom. Mimic kill. I think that's the first Mimic kill I've gotten with the various iterations of this deck. Okay. So, Devotion. We want Pithing Needles to name Gaia Reach Sanitarium and possibly Liliana. We want Negate and Duress. And our main board plan is good against them. We'll cut a little bit of bounce. Maybe I won't add Negate number 3. Cut one of my 3 mana rocks. I'm gonna lose 1 Agent of Treachery. Now, I think I like that better than Mind Flayer. At least one Mind Flayer. Well, maybe Mind Flayer is better than the Zeniths. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Alright, we got a turn 1 Duress. Assuming it doesn't get Thoughtseized. It doesn't. Hello, as I Thoughtseize you. Painful Quandary, Bandit's Talents. Well, we'll take Bandit's Talent. Painful Quandary. Ooh, that's scary. I mean, I like that card, but I don't like it being used against me. So do I just name Castle Lochthwain? They have Turgid too, jeez. That'll be nice to take control of. I'll wait. They Thoughtseize. Take my counterspell. So they're a Turgid deck? Let's play a tap land. Okay, they played the Lantern. Oh, Thoughtseize. Clutch draw there. We do not want to deal with Painful Quandary. I'll lose 3 life. Play a Mutavault. Play Turgid's Lantern. Tiny Bones joins up. I'll discard my island. Three steps ahead is a good draw. Duress. I could see Duress being useful, maybe. Sure, they do have that Tithing Blade that I can get rid of. Waste Knot. I don't think we want them having a Waste Knot, right? I really have nothing going on, though. I've got this Agent of Treachery. 2 lands away from being able to cast it. I know I'm drawing Duress next turn. Okay, well they don't field my Mutavault. That's good. They're making me shuffle away my Duress. But that's kind of fine. And they have a Thoughtseize. Okay. Dealing with our Mutavaults. Do I even want a Thoughtseize? I don't think I do. I want them to take more damage off their Castle Locthwain if they use it. Warlock class. Tithing Blade. What does this do at the beginning of your upkeep? Craft with creature. Each opponent, it drains for 1. Alright, I guess I'll Thoughtseize now. But we got nothing going on, so I need some help. They can just start attacking with their hive. Yep. Negate. So we're losing this race. Well, guess I'm negating your Thoughtseize. One, two, three. They don't have enough mana to activate their hive. Alright. Go ahead. They're gonna take 1 damage. There's a Waste Knot. Alright, a lot of good draws for me here. That is not one of them. So I'll just play this so I have nothing to discard. Where are my Field of Ruins? Alright, that's pretty good. Memory Deluge. What do we find here? Not much. Really not much at all. They found a Guy Reach Sanitarium. And this means at the end of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. Okay. Well, that was unfortunate. So I think we do want negates. Seems like they kind of boarded out a lot of their creatures. Maybe I'll go for Kaido here. cut a little bit of this stuff. A Mind Flayer and a Blue Suns. Couple of Blue Suns. Give Kaido a go. I don't know. This hand can just be Thoughtseized to pieces, but do you mulligan against a Thoughtseize deck? Like, they Thoughtseize Jawari Disruption. Jawari Disruption is like my only early game defense here. Ah, man. It's such a bad idea to mulligan, but I don't think this is a keepable hand. I have to mulligan this. Alright, and this hand is not great either. But I'll keep it. Bottom, a Memory Deluge, so I'm gonna need a lot of help. Hello, I didn't Thoughtseize you turn 1 this time. So I will have to Spell Pierce a Thoughtseize because they can take my Jawari Disruption, which would Mana Screw me. Speaking of Mana Screw, Hopeless Nightmare. That's fine. I can discard something like an Agent of Treachery. Pithing Needle. Well, I'm not gonna play that yet, because I'm not gonna go shields down. Waste not? Yeah. Gotta counter that. Okay, we did draw a land. Let us Thoughtseize. Go blank, Tithing Blade, Painful Quandary. So they're gonna be able to play Painful Quandary next turn. That's pretty terrible. If they go blank me, I'm empty-handed. But they also don't have anything. They have their Castle Lochthwain. I don't think I can survive a Painful Quandary. They can cast it on their next turn, so... Yep. I think we're gonna eat this Get Lost here. Or go blank. Let's see. They have their Tithing Blade in hand. Do I discard Memory Deluge or Pithing Needle? Memory Deluge I can almost cast. Pithing Needle could name Castle Lochthwain, which they can use. This is all so bad. I mean, they don't really have much going on either. I think with their without their castle, they have like nothing. There's a Tithing Blade, sure. Mind Flayer? Okay. Well, let's name Castle Lockthwain. Like, we didn't draw the land from Memory Deluge anyway, so... There's Shieldred. Can I draw a land, please? No. Oh, man. If I can get this Mind Flayer going, I have a chance. Bandit's talent. Okay. Can I have an untapped land card, please? Please, deck. Oh, I'm actually just dead on my turn. Yep. Well, that's unfortunate. I think it was correct to mull that first hand. Like, just keeping against their deck, which is just full of like cheap interaction and stuff, keeping a hand that doesn't do anything until turn 4, I think is just a losing play. So that was unfortunate, but at least we got game 1. Giovanna is our opponent. We'll be on the play. No companion. And this hand looks fine. We'll keep it. Uh-oh. Aggro. This might be tough. Okay, it's not a Cavern of Souls. That's good. Thalia. We'll definitely counter that. Another 3-mana rock that we can't play. Nice. Coppercoat. Okay. Mantis Rider. Bounce the Coppercoat, I guess. Alright, Watery Grave. So we can shock it. Take control of the recruitment officer. And then we'll take 4 next turn. So we'll be at 4 and then probably die. This is not a good hand against aggro, that's for sure. I think that's the play. Another Mantis Rider. Okay. Well, yeah, pretty good. So against aggro humans, I guess here's where we board in our actual removal. Our 2 Nowhere to Runs plus our Path of Peril, and we can board out probably Negate and Spell Pierce. We don't have anything else really, do we? This is a chump blocker, I guess. Yeah, it kind of has a defensive ability. I just don't think that these counterspells are going to do very much. At least not the negates. The 3 steps ahead, probably not going to do much either, since they are going to be running Cavern of Souls, so try this. We've got good spells. It's slow draw. We don't have black mana. I don't think this is keepable. Like, we can bounce their 1-drop on turn 2. If they have a Thalia, we're in huge trouble. I think that's a mulligan. Alright, we'll keep this. And bottom. I think we'll bottom in Islands. No, we'll bottom Field of Ruin and just pray to the magic gods. Please. Be merciful. Now, I think we do counter like a Thalia here. Cavern of Souls. Yep. Werewolf pack leader is a human. Okay. Alright, well, we're gonna lose this. Into the Flood Maw. Our Dimir locket costs 4. Yeah, I don't see us coming back from this. We can bounce a creature. We'll take 6. Can we take control of any creatures here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can take control of a tapped. Yeah, if it weren't for the Thalia, we could take the Werewolf Pack Leader, but there's the Thalia, so we're dead. Alright, so our mana base might need a little tweaking. We don't have a lot of black sources because we have such heavy blue requirements, but that might be a bad thing for matches where we do bring in our black removal, so that's one thing. Danoni will be our opponent in the final round. With Yorion. Great. So we'll be on the draw. We'll keep. Mind Flayer getting like an Omnath or something might be good, although they have Leyline Binding. This doesn't seem like a mulligan type hand against them. We can Jawari Disrupt, like a turn 3 Fable or something. Alright, Interminable Annoyance. Okay, Mutavault. Negate. I don't think I want to tap out. I want to keep up my counters. Calyx, Guided by Fate. Okay. Alright, let's just bounce it. into the Flood Maw. Alright, do I want to still try to get him with the Duari Disruption, or have I given up on that? Let's play the Celestis. I think I'm just playing this as a land at this point. They're gonna bind my Celestis, okay. Interminable annoyance. It's gonna go get what? Agent of Treachery. If they get Agent of Treachery, I probably scoop. Atraxa. So they got Moonblessed Cleric, Fatal Push up the Beanstalk, and a land. Okay, well, I can take control of Atraxa with my Mind Flayer. Then I lose if they have like another Leyline Binding. I think I'll pay 3 life. I just need to dodge it this turn. They have 3 unknown cards. Nowhere to run. Yep, that does it. Well, we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the question is, do I bounce Atraxa or hope that I can top deck a land? I think I'm going to try to top deck a land, because if I bounce Atraxa, they can just recast it. They're so close to being able to recast it. I don't need to bounce it right now. So, you gotta stop them from getting this card down, or else, like, you probably can't beat their deck. And they got it down. They were on the play. Untapped land? No. Okay. So, I guess we're just passing? Sure, let's draw a card and discard a card. I like all these cards, though. Probably discard into the Flood Maw, which is very revealing. So, the question is, what do we bounce here? I think we bounce Enigmatic Incarnation. We'll just take this hit. We do get priority before their end step, right? Deals combat damage to a player. You may create a token that's a copy of non-legendary enchantment you control. Whatever. Just bounce this stupid thing. So let's see. I could counter, but then I would not be able to counter Enigmatic Incarnation, which they do have the mana to play. Okay. I guess I'll just play this Brazen Borrower. Play Fatal Push, sure. Yeah, sure. We'll draw one and discard one. Ooh. Alright, let's take control of Atraxa. They shock. Moonblessed Cleric, okay. Gonna get a Leyline Binding, no doubt. Yup. Enigmatic. Yeah, we'll counter that. We draw Thoughtseizes. Okay. Attack with Atraxa. Leave up our counterspell. Do we want to draw and discard? Nah, I like my hand. My hand's real good. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power greater than their deals combat damage, draw a card. Well, if I don't counter this, they get to Leyline Bind me, so... Okay, I don't die to Leyline Binding, though. I guess I should have cast my Brazen Borrower in response to that. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't afford to lose my Mutavault, so I guess we'll just take it. Okay, I think we can just scoop, actually. They're gonna take my Celestis. You cannot let them resolve an Enigmatic Incarnation. So, negate Duress. Thought Distortion. Go Blank. Kaido. We can cut a lot of this stuff. We'll go one Mind Flayer. It's just too vulnerable to the leyline binding. Cut a couple of bounce spells. Just cut some bounce spells. Alright. Well, we've got a Thoughtseize and a Spell Pierce and a Go Blank. It looks pretty good. Alright, let's Thoughtseize. Beans, Overlord, Incarnation, Knight of Autumn. I think we'll take Beans. That just draws them too many cards. We can counter the Enigmatic Incarnation. Negate, that's pretty good. Get our ramp on. They shock, go for a Knight of Autumn to destroy my Iron Crag. Okay. Kind of a jerk move. Overlord. I think we can counter that. Alright, we do draw land, that's good. Start cycling those triomes. Thoughtseize. Well, I guess we'll counter that. Overlord. Okay, they went down to 2 cards. That's good. Because now we can go blank. Alright, we're just drawing lands. That's not necessarily bad, though. That's not a creature, it's just an enchantment, right? Yeah, we want to take control of that thing. So next turn we'll be able to snag it. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that right now. There's some beans. They just pick up Yorion. That's a good sign. They don't have the mana to cast it. Okay, cool. So let's just attack with our big guy. Make ourselves a fancy land. Moonblessed Cleric, Leyline Binding. Of course. There's Yorion. Draws it. They had a mana available, so I couldn't disrupt the Yorion, unfortunately. They get a bunch of stuff. They get to destroy that thing. They get their interminable annoyance. So I can take control of Yorion. I kind of need to. But the binding's only going to cost them 1 mana to play. Maybe I can get the incarnation? I guess I need to do that. And just hold back. Yeah, I can't beat the I can't beat this. There's the binding to take Yorion. They shock. Alright, that's gonna get us. Just so much value in that deck. Yeah. So, our final record with Mind Flayer, Dimir control in Pioneer Explorer was a 4-2. And we got some good wins in there. We beat the RC winning Rakdos like tree Agatha the Soul Cauldron deck, so that was cool. We beat some good stuff. We lost to Humans aggro, and we lost to Interminable Annoyance, Value Town, Money Pile, Yorion. both of which are pretty bad matchups. Yeah, I think this deck is not the best against aggro decks, although we do have, like, you know, we've got, like, bounce for their first plays, and it is cheap for us to take control of their cheap creatures, but I think maybe another tool or two in the sideboard against aggro would be good to have, as well as perhaps tuning the mana base, which is a little bit slow. You know, I really like Jawari Disruption, but I could definitely see an argument for cutting a couple of these in favor of some more dual lands or like pathways or something, so that you don't end up with like a ton of tap lands and a really awkward draw against aggro. I think that would help. So like another removal spell in the sideboard or cheap bounce spell, as well as like some tweaks to the mana base to make it a little faster, would help against aggro. Against the Enigmatic Incarnation deck, that deck is really hard to beat as well, because like everything they do just generates so much value. Definitely I could see like having like an Unmoored Ego or two in the sideboard, like for that matchup if you name Leyline Binding or like, you know, Interminable Annoyance. I always forget the actual name of that card. That would be very helpful, I think, because just like, you know, all they have to do is like resolve one or two of their super value pieces, and the deck just goes off, as you saw. But overall, I think the deck is really fun, and it's quite good. You know, like a lot of the good decks in Pioneer are very reliant on their creatures, and if you can just yoink their creatures, that's a really powerful thing to do. Oh, I'm also not like a fan of the 3-mana ramp spells. I'm not really sure what to do about this. Maybe just ditch the idea of ramping entirely, and sorry, my final record was a 3-3. I lost to Humans, I lost to Interminable Annoyance, and I lost to that Waste Not deck. Very close match against that that Black Devotion deck. So 3-3. But you know, the losses we had were close against Black Devotion, at least. Against the other two decks, not so much. So yeah, some Unmoored Ego in the sideboard. I could see actually even splashing green just for some more hate against that Interminable Annoyance deck, because it is very prevalent and very powerful. You know, cards like Pick Your Poison, cards like Return to Nature, which can get rid of all enchantments, might actually be worth a third color splash. But overall, I think the deck is really fun, and the plan of like stealing creatures is a good plan against a lot of matchups that are popular. It's good against the mono black like Demons deck. It's good against the Rakdos Tree of Perdition, Agatha's Soul Cauldron deck. It's very good against mono green Devotion. I think it's quite good against Is It Phoenix? As I mentioned in the intro, stealing their Ledger Shredder or even their Phoenixes can be really devastating to that deck. So there's a lot that it's good against. And I think with some tweaking to the mana base and a little help in the sideboard, it could be shored up against the stuff that it's bad against as well. But as it is, I had fun. I'm really glad to be able to play Mind Flayer. It did come in clutch that one game where we were able to clone it with our 3 steps ahead. That's a pretty sick combo. So also we got a Mimic kill. That was sweet. Yeah, I think maybe cutting the 3-mana ramp spells, going up to like 27 lands. I could see maybe adding a second Mimic or a second Iron Crag, just for a little bit of ramp in the early game, so that you can get to your 5 and 7 drops earlier. That might be something worth doing, but I think the 3-mana ramp is just like way too expensive and slow. So anyway, those are my thoughts about Mind Flayer control in Pioneer Explorer. I think it's really fun. Our Lithid Masters must be represented, and they got to shine a little bit tonight, so I'm happy about that. Yes, I am happy about that. No, I'm not being compelled to say that. Anyway, I had fun playing the deck tonight. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you like off-meta, off-kilter MTG content. If you do, please be sure to check back here next Saturday for some more MTG. My name is Shroom. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you later. Have a good night.